The media is absolutely essential. I used to joke that my most important staff member was the media advisor, because you can do a great deal of good work, and if it's not known about, you're wasting your time. And there are many aspects to that. I mean, first of all, without the media, you can't educate the public. So that fundamentally important role of education is not going to happen unless it's appearing in the newspapers and on radio stations and on television.
Олон үр дүн байгаа. За хамгийн голоос нь гэвэл энэ асуудалд олон нийтийн анхаарлыг, хэвлэл мэдээллийн анхаарлыг, парламентын гишүүдийн анхаарлыг хандуулж чадсан явдал байгаамаа. Парламентын энэ 3 одоо бүтцээр манай элтгэлийг маш анхааралтай авч үзсэн. Нэгдүгээрт нь хүний эрхийн дэд хороо, хууль зүйн байнгын ороо, хоёрдугаарт нь, гуравдугаарт нь парламентын нэгдсэн чуулганаар 2 өдөр авч хэлэлцээ.
The media coverage in New Zealand of disability issues is pretty slack. So we worked quite hard to ensure that we got some coverage, and I'd have to say we got some very good coverage as a result, but probably not still at the same level that we might have got for other issues.
The media have a clear interest. They're not necessarily involved in the issue, but they will be the reporters of it. They will want to have access to witnesses, to information, to research, and we will want them to, because as a commission, we are almost entirely dependent on the media to communicate our message to the broader community. No matter how many leaflets we publish or posters we print, we'll only ever communicate with a handful of people. Through the public media and through social media, we have the opportunity to communicate with the broad population. And so, for us, media are very important stakeholders who need to be encouraged and drawn in.
So the media, therefore, I think has been used, and they very willingly come to our assistance to disseminate information, to focus on issues that are faced by the indigenous people in various parts of Malaysia. We told them, don't politicize the issue, but sometimes newspapers be newspapers. Of course, I think it's good because I think for the first time there is a national kind of consciousness about the plight of the original peoples of Malaysia, and I think there's a national realization that I think this should not continue.
One of the most important advantages of a public inquiry is the public hearings. And you will recall at every one of the public hearings we had, the media were invited. Sometimes they came in large numbers. I remember hearings where we had 30 or 40 journalists there. There were stories in the paper every day, and I think perhaps one graphic illustration of that was at the end of that inquiry, that is the inquiry on people with mental illness, there was something like 82 pages of press coverage the day the report was released. And the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff rang me up and said, how did you do this? Because when Sydney won the Olympics, there was 42 pages of press coverage in the print media. And what that illustrated was that even with a subject that was unpopular, by using the media, by making ourselves available and accessible to the media throughout the process of the inquiry, when it came to making our recommendations, the media themselves were very interested. They almost felt like stakeholders, some of the journalists who'd followed us through the inquiry. And of course, we'd spoken to some of their editors and we'd tried to get them interested, and I think sometimes we just don't realise that the media is critical. Without the media, you're just not going to get results in any area of human rights.